under the arms as well. Like, look at that. Do you see the potential flavor that could happen here? Oof. Okay, so this one. Why is this turkey doing a gangster lean? Oh wait, could you please just wig in yourself? Hey guys, so, oh, let me turn off my music. Oh my god, I love the Bee Gees. Anyways, I'm just getting started with some Thanksgiving shopping or Segensgiving shopping, and if you guys have watched like previous videos, I guess from previous years, it's like an Olympic race for me when it comes to getting this stuff done. I have to go to multiple grocery stores. Like, I can't find everything in one grocery store, so I'm currently at Fresco, which is a pretty regular grocery store. I love their produce here, but after this I'm going to run over to Costco, grab some stuff from there that are like, that I know I can't find anywhere else, so I gotta go there, and then after that I gotta go to a different grocery store because this particular one like doesn't have everything in stock. So and everyone in this grocery store is kind of avoiding me like the plague, which is hilarious. I'm going to just cash out now. I got most of what I need to get me like at least started. The only thing is we celebrate Thanksgiving on Monday, which is kind of a risk because like if I need something last minute, everything is closed. So I'm trying my best to kind of prep and prepare like tomorrow, which is Saturday, just in case I need to grab some last minute items because people are like just everywhere. Like I couldn't even find a shopping cart. Like I had to go find like a shopping cart outside. Like there was nothing inside the store. So 'tis the season, but it's my favorite season, so I'm happy. Oh my god, I gotta cut my nails. Alright guys, so it is technically the night before Thanksgiving. So what I love to do, because tomorrow just gets a bit too hectic and overwhelming, I like to prepare the table the night before. So these were just like trials of what combination would look good. So I went with the gold with the flower print, this like Thanksgiving tablecloth, and the gold table runner. I use this tablecloth every year along with like a Burberry tablecloth, but this table is too big. This is a 8-seater. So anywho, I'm just going to prepare the dishes and serving dishes. It makes such a difference, guys. If you guys are at all like hosting parties, it doesn't even have to be Thanksgiving, it can be like any holiday. Prepare the table the night before. I promise you guys are gonna sleep like babies and you won't have to like worry about anything. Like how, like you guys don't understand, it's like clockwork. The hecticness of Thanksgiving, it's always down to the wire. People just happen to arrive on time because they're hungry. So it's like, you know what I mean? You just don't want to kind of like run around like a headless chicken. So prepare the table the night before. It's a game changer. It's Thanksgiving morning, so I'm going to get started on the turkey first, get that out of the way, make sure it's prepped and ready in the oven, and then I'm gonna be making the other sides, the mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes. Don't know why I'm out of breath, but I just finished having my breakfast, and first order of business is prepping the turkey. So I'm gonna show you guys what the turkey looks like right now. I gave it a I gave it like a salt and lemon bath scrub yesterday, so it's nice and clean, and more importantly it's nice and dry. So I'm just going to prepare the like seasoning, I guess you would say. So let's get started on that. So this is the turkey we are working with today. This beautiful little bird is actually, it's not little, it's about 8 pounds, so it is pretty big, but I have a pretty big family, so it makes sense. But this is pretty much what I'm gonna be using to season the turkey and stuff like that. I still have to wash it. As you can see, I don't know, celery is just one of those things I need to make sure I thoroughly clean. I can't stand it. But anyways, I'm going to clean up these veggies and herbs, give them a good rinse, and then I have 2 sticks of salted butter that I'm going to melt into this little guy right over here. And for the Canadians out there, I got this at Dollarama. Could you believe? It's a bit small. It's not like the big ones, obviously. I don't know if you guys can see to scale. But anyway, just believe me, it's a bit smaller, but it's really cute, and I got it for like $3. Anyways, I'm going to melt the butter in here, add pretty much the herbs and the salt and pepper, and a couple of other spices that I'm gonna share with you guys. And yeah, so I'm gonna get started with that. Oh, and I like to always grab the chicken broth that says no sugar added, because the butter that we're gonna be using is salted. So I just don't want, I don't know, each his own. Obviously, if you guys like saltier food, then go for like the regular chicken broth, but we just gotta watch our sodium intake. So I like to do a balance between the two, where the chicken broth will be like no salt and the butter will be salted. Yay! Now, I will say the 2 sticks of butter, to some might be a bit like, oh my God, Segen, that's a bit too much, but it really depends on the size of your turkey. If I had, for instance, a 5-pound turkey, I most likely would use maybe a stick, maybe a stick and a half, but most likely just a stick of butter. But because this bad boy is a 8-pound turkey, I need all the butter I can get. Sweet. Now we have melted butter. All right, so to the butter, I'm going to add some fresh ground pepper. I feel like when you have fresh ground pepper, it makes all the difference, guys. I promise you. Like, don't get the pepper that's already like done and grinded for you, or ground already. Like, don't get ground black pepper is what I mean to say. Sorry, because the butter is already salted, I'm not going to add a lot of salt. I'm just gonna add a pinch of salt. That's it. This is by far my favorite herb for Thanksgiving. Thyme, literally, the minute I smell this, I know it's Thanksgiving time. It's like the best. So what I like to do is I like to grab a stem and peel it back. Actually, you know what? Let me take out my gloves for this. I'm not working with meat, so. If you don't have fresh thyme, it's okay if you have dried thyme. I just like to use fresh herbs if I can. And because they're in season, like, you can find it. Okay, so next I have some sage that I'm just going to chop up. I'm just gonna take the leaves out and start chopping away. Okay, so I'm just gonna add this to our butter mixture. And the next herb I'm gonna add is the beautiful rosemary. So just like the thyme, I'm just going to kind of peel it all back like that. And then I'm left with a bush of rosemary and a stick. So I'm just going to take the top off so I can grab that as well. I'm going to do that again. So just going to find a sweet spot. Oh, okay, I guess that wasn't the sweet spot. Just gonna grab this part right over here and then run that back, and boom, I'm left with rosemary. Peel, just snip off the rest, take out this. The thing is, like, especially this stick of rosemary, it's a bit bitter, so it's good to kind of get rid of it. And I'm just going to just roughly chop the rosemary. Add that to our butter. Boom. Just gonna add a little bit more rosemary, I'm not gonna lie. Let's be real, I love this herb. Just gonna peel that back. So the last piece of, I guess, seasoning that I'm gonna add to the butter mixture is some smoked paprika. So I love smoked paprika, it's one of my favorite spices to cook with. So I'm just gonna add that. Gives it a bit of a kick. Just gonna mix that in there. And at this point, because our butter mixture is done, I'm going to preheat the oven to 350. And as the oven is preheating, I'm just going to prep the turkey, kind of like massage it with what we just did. So you guys are gonna see that. One thing I do want to tell you guys, when you are cleaning your turkey, always check the turkey inside, like this part. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hold on, let me kind of move. Always check this part because this is where they'll store the neck. And now you can keep the neck if you want to make turkey broth and things like that. I typically toss it, but it's entirely up to you. And the second place that you guys have to check is this part right over here. This part, this is where they keep the heart, the kidney, and like pretty much the extra organs of the turkey. Not to sound, you know, too dark, but that's pretty much where they like to leave it, in this little pocket right over here. Make sure you check this before you clean it, because if you don't, then you'll bake it without knowing that it's all in there, okay? But what I like to do is I like to just take off this piece. This is the extra skin from the neck. It's so weird talking about this, but it's the truth. So I'm just gonna take this off because I don't need it. And it's just extra fat that we don't need. So I'm just gonna toss this off to the side. And I'm gonna start off pretty much at the base of the turkey. I'm gonna start at the base, and then I'm gonna flip it and start seasoning the top, okay? So I'm just going to take our mixture, our butter, okay? And I'm gonna say a little prayer. Get in there, make sure you're seasoning everything. Under the arms as well. Like, look at that. Do you see the potential flavor that could happen here? Oof. Okay, so this one. I'm getting jealous of this bird. I need to book myself a massage, holy. Okay, so we're gonna get all the crevices here. Okay, all right, it's looking good, looking good. So at this point, what I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to make sure that this is all nice and seasoned. Okay, at this point, I'm just going to flip our bird. Oh, okay. Just gonna flip it like that. And then this is where I'm going to also peel the skin here and make sure the seasoning goes underneath the skin. So I'm just like slowly poking my fingers in it, and then I'm just going to make a bit of a, I guess, I don't know, a path, or I don't know what you want to call it, girl, but I'm just gonna be very gentle and careful because I'm separating the skin from the actual meat, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm doing it very slowly, and I'm being very gentle because I don't want to rip the skin. If you happen to rip the skin, trust me, I've been there, I've done that before. It's not that big of a deal. Like, don't be hard on yourself. You rip it by accident, it's ripped. But if you can, just be very gentle and create that bit of, like, you know, gap. Thank you. Oh my God, it finally came to me. You're gonna create a gap between the skin and the meat, and then you're gonna add your seasoning just right here in this little pocket. And look at that, just to give you guys a bit of perspective, especially if you're watching this, you're a bit skeptical whether to use that much butter for an 8-pound turkey. This is how much we have left over. Okay, so I'm just going to put that over. Okay. I'm also going to massage it underneath, right over here in that pocket we just created. Okay. I'm just gonna take the excess from my glove and throw it in that pocket. So you can see, I don't know if the camera's picking up on it, but there's the herbs and seasoning on that meat area. And don't be shy, like put it in like any crevice or any gap you see between the skin and the meat. So I'm just gonna turn this around, then I'm just gonna massage it. That's what we do. That's what we do on this channel, babes. Like, we learn as we go. I'm trying to share as many like mistakes that I've done in the past because, let me tell you, I've been making Thanksgiving since high school for my family, and I've burnt mac and cheese. I've burnt a turkey. I've done it all. Like, every mistake you can think of, I've done it. So, this is like your one-stop shop of what to avoid. Now I'm gonna take off my gloves. And the one thing that I've learned in the past is, do you see like this area right over here? Like these wings? Now the wings are super pointed, but just to give you a bit of like perspective, the wing, the tip here, and even like the leg right over here, very different, but they're getting the same amount of heat. So what's really important is that we cover the wing with some aluminum foil. That way this doesn't burn, because this is going to be the first thing that cooks evenly. It's the wing. What takes a long time is, you know, the breast, the leg, the thigh, things like that. But the first thing that gets done and cooks and is like ready to go is the wing, right? So I'm just going to cover that up. Just see, and it's like pointed so you guys can get like what I mean by it being like the first contact when it comes to the heat. And then I'm going to add the herbs, and then I'm gonna add the vegetables, the onions, the garlic, and we're gonna put it right in there, and also the extra herbs that we have. So in addition to the sage, the thyme, and the rosemary, I also picked up some parsley, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to add it right in here. All right, so I'm just gonna take some garlic, or I'm just gonna take one, you know, what do they call this? A heart of garlic? I don't know what they call this, but an entire garlic. And I'm just going to cut it down the middle. Okay. And I'm gonna throw it in the turkey like this. So maybe I'm gonna bring it to the frame because this is where I just kind of like throw things in there. All right, this is the best that I can do. So next, what I like to do is grab an onion. Now you can use a red onion. I don't know what it is. When it comes to making the turkey, I like to use a white onion, but it's up to you. If you have red onion, trust and believe that's my favorite onion to use. So just use that. I just happen to be at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, I like white onion, so let me use that. So I'm just gonna cut it into wedges. Okay. Actually, it doesn't even have to be wedges. It can just be like a rough chop. I'm just gonna throw it in there as well. And also don't be worried that the skin is on there. Like the skin has flavor as well. So don't be scared. The next thing I'm gonna do is grab some carrots, cut that or break that in half and throw that in there. Why is this turkey doing a gangster lean? Oh wait, could you please just wig in yourself? Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is grab some celery. Just gonna throw that in there as well. Let me cut off the stem here. Just grab another stalk of celery, and then I'm just gonna throw that in there as well. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Trust and believe. It doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm just gonna take some parsley, break that into half. Just throw that bad boy in there. What else? Oh, and my favorite, thyme. You guys don't understand. When I smell thyme, it's Thanksgiving. Like nobody can tell me different. Like that's it. Okay, I think we're jam-packed, honestly. So this is pretty much the herbs that I like to use. The next thing that I'm gonna grab is the chicken stock, and I'm just going to add it to the base. That way, once it's baking in the oven, it's going to be nice and warm and beautiful and juicy. And it's gonna help with our gravy. So let me take off these gloves one last time. So again, I'm gonna add the chicken stock that has no salt. And I'm just gonna add it to the base, okay? Like I mentioned, this is going to help us with keeping our turkey nice and moist. Now, if you don't have chicken stock, or if you're watching this video and you're just like, oh, I forgot to grab it, or whatever the case may be, just use some water. It's fine, it's not that big of a deal. So next, I'm gonna grab that aluminum foil. That's the first thing that gets cooked right away. Perfect. So this is what our turkey looks like. I'm hoping to just move the camera, that way you guys can see me put it in the oven. Our oven is preheated at 350, so we're good to go. I'm just gonna grab my phone to do some Instagram content. And you know what? I'm gonna add the tip about covering the wing with aluminum foil. Okie dokes. So I'm just going to add it to the oven. Okay, so next I'm going to prep the mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna peel them and add them to water, because if you don't add potatoes to water and you know, it's gonna take you a while to kind of like cook them and stuff, they will turn brown. So I'm just gonna start peeling them and then add them to this bowl of water here. So it's been about an hour. I have my turkey baster that I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna be very careful because I also don't want the temperature to dramatically like change for this turkey. So this is what it looks like. Not bad. Looking beaut. So I'm just gonna turn it around. And you can get a baster from the dollar store. That's where I got mine. Make sure it's all nest. And then I'm also just going to put that off to the side. Close it. And then I'm going to set a timer with Siri for another hour. So every hour I'm going to check on it and base it. Okay, so I just strained the potatoes. I'm just gonna add a knob of butter. And I'm just gonna take my potato masher and start mashing. And in the meantime, I'm going to warm up some cream and some butter to add to this. And the last ingredient I'd like to add is sour cream. Okay, so I warmed up some half and half, so I'm just gonna add it to the mashed potatoes. Try not to splatter everywhere. So I'm just going to mix that in. And the things with potatoes, they soak up liquid so quickly. So I'm just gonna gradually add the cream. If you don't have cream, you can also use milk. That's totally fine. But the liquid is nearly gone. So I'm just gonna add the rest. So I'm just gonna add some black pepper and some salt. And since the butter we added is salted butter, I'm not gonna go crazy on the salt. I'm going to add some sour cream. Every time. I'm not gonna move it away from the burner because I still want it to kind of like use the excess heat to keep it warm, but it is turned off. All right, my beauty. Gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful, my goodness.